Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to swing trade using supply and demand zones so you can get the best entry possible on your trades. First, let's talk about what is swing trading. Swing trading is when you hold a stock for several days to a couple of weeks compared to day trading where you usually hold for a couple of minutes, maybe an hour, something like that. So we're using the higher time frame charts. You have to be careful when you're swing trading. You have to be careful of market news so your trade doesn't gap in the opposite direction, such as like earnings, FOMC reports, job reports, different things like that. So be aware of the market conditions when you're doing swing trades. Now, there are two different ways that I look for supply and demand zones on the daily chart. The first one is pretty obvious. You can see we are downtrending right here. That is the first thing that you're going to look for, is finding the trend. So you see we're heading down there, and then the next thing you want to find is your 1, 2, 3, which is your impulse, correction, impulse. So you have a impulse here, you have a correction here, and then you have another impulse going down here. So you have your 1, 2, 3. So what we do now, let me remove these, clean this up a little bit. So like I said, pretty straightforward on this one. So on this third leg going down, that's where you look for your zone. So we find our zone right in here. So we have a drop, a base, and then another drop. So drop, base, drop. And you see we have a big explosion candle, coming out of here. So this is our zone right in here. So what we would do is put our zone like right in here, and you see we wait for this to come back. Now these are all daily candles here, so this is how many days it took for this to come back. So swing trading does not happen quickly, but the zones are a lot more stable than if you're doing like some 1-minute charts, 5-minute charts, the lower time frames. But and these aren't just cherry picked stocks. If you look back at my back videos, my past videos, these are stocks that I have taken. So you see we wait for this to come back to this zone, and it reacts off of that zone and bounces back down, and this trade would still be going on. Now I sell out at 2 to 1, so I sell out at this red line here. My stop loss is above this purple line. I got in at this purple line here. This one may drop down. It depends on if you want to do 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. That's all up to you. I do 2 to 1. So that's the first way. Again, just find your 1, 2, 3, and then you find your little zone right in there. The other way is if I get rid of this and clean these up a little bit. Clean that one up. Find two of the same color candles in a row, just like this. So you see this big red candle here, this big red candle here, and see where they overlap a little bit in there. You have your zone right in there. So now what we do is we drop down to our hourly chart, which is here on the right, and you see if we blow this up here, that's where we did the highlight on the daily candle. So now we zoom in and find our zone in that area. So our zone would be somewhere like right around this area here. Again, you want to do the zones. This is called the distal line. This is the proximal line, this purple line here. So you can kind of adjust this proximal line up and down. I would have put it right here at the bottom of this big top wick candle right here, and then you see how on the hourly chart you see these little candles trickling back right into our zone, and we ended up dropping down. I sold out here at 2 to 1, but this thing continued to drop down. So again, just depends on where you want to put your your take profit. And actually, if you go back over here in the daily chart, you see this thing really ran down. So I sold out up here and got out of the trade, but this thing really ran down. Let's look at another example. Uber, UBER. So on Uber, if we go back a little ways, you see we have a zone right in here. So we have a big green candle, another big green candle. So we highlight this area right here. And then if we drop down to our hourly chart, let's find that zone. So here is our zone right here where we have it to highlight it, and we want to really zero in on this zone. So we'd probably go somewhere, maybe up, well, actually a little bit down, probably like right around here maybe. And this one here, on this one, I must have dropped this down a little bit more, my entry line. So if I move this line down a little bit more, I actually got in at the top of this wick right here. Like I said, you have to kind of move these lines, and I watch where my 3-to-1 is because I'm only going for 2-to-1. So I kind of watch where this line is here. That way, we're about halfway up sometimes on this 2-to-1. So if we now look, scroll over a little bit, you can see where we came right back into this zone. Right here, went right back into this zone, and then we came up and hit 2-to-1. And then, of course, it dropped off from there. So that's kind of why I like doing the 2-to-1. Usually get a lot more wins on that one than I can get out of the trade, put my money somewhere else. So let's look for another zone. So if we go back a little bit more on Uber, you see we have a big green candle here, a big green candle here. And then, so we have our zone right in here. And now let's go over to the hourly chart. And we scroll back into our zone. And now you see we have our zone right in here. We have a big green candle here. So we have a rally, a base, and then a rally. So if we put our zone in here, the zone is somewhere around this area here. You might even want to, now let's see the 3-to-1, you still have a little bit more room. So I probably would have gone maybe somewhere around like here maybe, because that still gives us plenty of room for our 2-to-1. And then if we scroll over, we will see this come right back to our zone. And here we go. It comes right back into our zone, and then we go right up to 2-to-1. I sold right here, and this one went to almost 3-to-1, and then ended up falling off here. Would have got stopped out if you went that way, but again, I'm at 2-to-1. So that is how you use supply and demand zones where getting your best entries. Because say like this one here, if you have this big green candle here, big green candle here, and then it gets all the way up top here, and you think, man, this is good. I want to go ahead and get in this, and you buy up in this area. Look what happened. This thing ends up going up here, falling off. You would have gotten stopped out, and you get a better entry, down here if you wait for these supply and demand zones. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I will see you on the next video.